13th through the 15th.
Hi, this is King George. And doesn't your mouth sometimes water for the taste of some good hickory smoked barbecue like you used to get in the old days? Well, have I got news for you. I've got the place to go. In fact, I've got 3 places to go. It's Joe's Barbecue and Fish, and right now he's featuring his Hard Time Special. You can get 5 wings for $4.99, 20 legs for $9.99. For $19.99, you can get Joe's Sports Bucket of Rib Tips, and all of those orders include fries at Joe's Barbecue and Fish. And you can find them at his 3 locations: 4900 West on Madison Street, Chicago, Illinois; 350 North Wolf Road in Hillside, Illinois; and 79 Clock Tower Plaza in Elgin, Illinois. And if you mention clubsteppin.com or print out the ad on the Club Steppin webpage, you can get 10% off of any order. So visit Joe's Barbecue and Fish. Once you try Joe's, you're hooked.
Another hour of engaging talk radio starts now. This is globalnewsforum.com, Chicago.
It's time now for the Bean Soup Times radio show with your host, Torre Muhammad. Heard every Wednesday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on globalnewsforum.com. And now, your host.
Hello, world. What's up, brothers and sisters? Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Habarigani. Uhuru. Praise the Lord. Bonjour. Como esta, wherever you at, wherever you're listening from throughout the globe here on Global News Forum. We are so happy to be here. This is your brother, your friend, Torre Muhammad, coming to you with another hour of just impactful, inspirational, informative, motivational information. Oh, I'm telling you, it is on and popping today. Go right now and tell a friend to tune in. Send them an email. Tell them, you share what you're getting ready to hear. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, this show today, whether you are a full-fledged, hard knock, go get 'em, full-time entrepreneur, whether you are part-time entrepreneur, part-time working a job, and you're leading into going full-time and you're stealing away, whether or not you just need to deal with the budget and the finances you have now and you just want to squeeze some more money out of that turnip, out of that lemon, out of that rock. Oh, man, we're about to have just some incredible information for you today. So tell a friend, get a pen, get a pad. You want to get this information down. Go to my website, beansouptimes.com, and there'll be a link to some of the information that we refer to. But here it is. Just, oh, man, we have to get you ready for, on this windy day here in the Windy City, an incredible interview that I did with a brother who just knocks my socks off. He's big time, big time, big time. And we are so pleased to have him on the Bean Soup radio show. So today, of course, is March 7th. Is it? Is today March 7th? We are so excited about this brother. So tune in, get ready to hear from this brother right now.
Brothers and sisters, I am so pleased and so excited to have on the show today a real just national shaker and mover, somebody that if you have not heard of him before, then today is, I'm telling you, really your lucky day. And even though I don't necessarily believe in luck, this is your opportunity. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So this brother that you're going to hear from today, get pen and pencil. You want to make sure that you have his website information. You want to make sure that you know how to take some notes, because you're going to get incredible information today about personal finance and about building a business. So this brother is the CEO of his own company. He's a top black business person, been recognized as the entrepreneur of the year. He's been ranked just high in the country as a motivational speaker, as a business coach, and he has a book that I'm telling you, it is a life-changing book. He has information and instruction in there that not only you get, but then you see how you can implement it into your life. Fortune's 100 CEOs, well-published book, just an incredible brother, and he also does stuff to help teach and bring others into the information and wisdom that he has. You may have seen his name in Black Enterprise, both as an author and but just he's a shaking mover, and we are excited to have William R. Patterson on the show today. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing terrific, Tori. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, brother, it is my pleasure. I'm so excited about this chance to talk to you. I know we met a few years ago and at the George Frazier's Power Networking Conference, and before I even saw your presentation, I already committed to going to a couple of other ones that were at the same time, and some folks that I had some familiarity with. And so now really getting a chance to read more about you and read the book, The Baron, man, it's just the Baron Solution is just really inspirational to talk to you now. And so first, let's go into and tell me about what you do. I know you're an entrepreneur, you're a business coach and a wealth coach, and what does all that really mean, and what do you do?
Sure. Well, my background initially was as an electrical engineer. I went to school for electrical engineering, later worked for a short time on Wall Street and for some top consulting firms, and I decided to branch out and do my own thing. And when I started the Wolcoffer Capital Group, which was a financial holding company, we would do staged investments in these private businesses. And I'm sure some of your listeners may have seen shows like Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, where you had a lot of entrepreneurs who would come and they try to get financing, but they really didn't have either financial plans or business plans, and the skill that it took to run a 6 or 7 figure business was definitely a different level than the skill that it takes to run an 8-figure business. So the same way that a person may buy a piece of property that is dilapidated, they fix that property up and sell it, we would do the same thing for businesses. So if a business came and it needed financing, we would help that business build capacity, build back-end departments and scalable business models so that they would be more valuable to either venture capital firms or private equity firms that wanted to take them public. But as we were working with these entrepreneurs, we saw that there were a lot of people who just didn't have the skills to take their business to the next level. So that's how we started the Baron Solution Group, which was a wealth and business coaching firm that gave people those sound, fundamental financial and business habits and skills that they would need to be able to not only use entrepreneurship as a vehicle to help others, but also as a wealth building and retirement vehicle for themselves as well.
Wow, that's incredible. And so you had a business, but then you saw an even deeper solution and a problem that needed a solution, and so you started applying the lessons that you've learned over the years.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, one of the things that you'll notice about our book, The Baron Son, which is part of a larger series called the Baron Series, and a part of a larger solution, which we call the Baron Solution, was as we were working with people all around the world, we saw that the people who really needed this information didn't have access to it or just weren't aware of it. So we wanted to make a conscious decision to make sure that we were going into the community to teach a lot of these business and wealth building strategies. Because there's one thing, you're sitting in a boardroom and no one in the boardroom looks like you, but it's definitely a different situation when you have a chance to do things like we've done with our youth program, the Baron Young Millionaires program, where we teach business and financial skills in inner city schools. Also through Sigma Gamma Rho, we do a project called Project We Savers, where we work with teen mothers to teach business and financial skills. So a lot of this starts from a very young age.
Yes, sir. Wow, beautiful. And did you start at a young age? How did you get into this whole field? And why didn't you say, hey, I'm going to go get a job and work for somebody like so many people do?
Well, for me, it started as a young child. I was about 6 years old, and my father taught me how to recycle cans. And I didn't do it the normal way. We just go out and get a few cans. He taught me how to negotiate with schools to get their cans and get these cans in bulk and recycle them. And this was before they had their national recycling programs. But I used to make hundreds of dollars a month as a little kid recycling these cans. And he said, I'm going to teach you how to see value in things that other people can't see. And throughout the years, my father would have me reading books like Think and Grow Rich. And he taught me how to think differently and strategically when it came to building wealth, building relationships, and understanding really what wealth meant. But when it came to why I didn't just go the typical job route, and I did work jobs. I did work as consultants to different companies. But one of the things that I understood is I wasn't working for a paycheck. I was working to develop a skill set. I was working to develop relationships, because those are really the key to wealth. Because I also understood that not all income is created equal. And I'm pretty famous for saying that for most people, a job is a $50,000 solution to $1 million problem.
Yes, sir.
If you have $1 million problem, you of course have to use a $1 million solution, and that $1 million solution for most people are the major wealth building vehicles: the stock market, real estate, and entrepreneurship.
Wow. Yes, sir. That's beautiful. I love that quote too. So you worked with investors, all type of investors and entrepreneurs across the world, and you developed the 5 wealth principles. Tell us about what those are and how people can use them.
Well, I actually just touched on one of the 5 wealth principles, which is not all income is created equal. As I mentioned, most people are trying to build wealth through a job, which is earned income, which means they trade their time for money. And the issue or the challenge with trading your time for money is, number one, you only have so much time as one person, and then also if you stop working, your income stops. So it's really about moving away from earned income, or that income from a job, to moving toward passive and residual income streams, where you do something once and you can get paid for it over and over and over again.
Right.
If you are a small business, it's being able to move from the one-time sales model to more of a continuity model, where you're moving people toward licensing and subscription programs, the same way your cable television provider may charge you monthly, or let's say your telephone provider may charge you monthly. But it's about creating value, not just overcharging people. And then the next point, point number 2 of the second wealth principle, is understand that value is the greatest attracting force of money in the world. I'll say that again. Value is the greatest attracting force of money in the world. So what does that mean? Well, let's say you are an employee. A lot of people will come in and they'll say, hey, I deserve a raise. But you haven't raised your value to that employer. So if you're able to bring in more money, if you're able to solve problems, which is actually point number 3, the wealth principle number 3, and that is the bigger problem you solve, the greater your income. So look to solve more and bigger problems. The 4th wealth principle is leveraging what we call OPE. And I'm sure you've heard of OPM, right? Other people's money?
Yes.
Well, we believe in OPE, other people's everything, their time, their money, their energy, their resources, their networks, etc. That's the key to building wealth, is being able to build relationships, create value for the people in your network and in your circle, and this can accelerate your wealth building. The 5th point is to diversify your income internationally in order to avoid the impact of an economic downturn or recession. A lot of people don't think about the opportunities that exist nationally or even internationally. And for many, a lot of people think when it comes to black business that it's just about black people buying black, but it's really about everyone being able to buy black. And when it comes to, let's say, even China has over 1 billion people in China, but they just don't sell to other people in China. They sell to people all around the world. So really look at the world as a stage for you to build wealth, the same way so many other countries and cultures do.
That's beautiful. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. And we buy because we buy from everybody, so it makes sense for everybody to buy from us.
Exactly.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so what are some of the, and I know there can be processes and stages, so for anybody that may be starting off, then they may start local, but with this global economy, they can really reach out and touch people all over the world.
Absolutely. And with the advances with the internet, you can start up a business really in 24 hours and be selling a product all around the world. And, we have people in various countries in Africa. We have books that are translated into Indonesian, Russian, Korean, Polish, you name it, that are interested in this information, which is also one of the reasons why it is so important to make sure that people in the community do have access to this information and are using these strategies, because the rest of the world is using them and often profiting off of you.
Yes, sir. That makes a lot of sense as well. And okay, so let's talk about you've identified 7 millionaire success habits. And can you explain what those are? And you touched on it a little bit, but definitely, there's some people that maybe they don't think, maybe they have a hair care product or something that is targeted, for a smaller community, either locally or ethnically. If they're terrified about the economic times that are happening right now, and how can they use these principles to really get that foothold?
Well, the first millionaire success habit, and we've worked with thousands of clients all over the world, and they're at different levels financially, from an educational standpoint, they're at a different level. But the first success habit of the higher net clients is, number one, they don't reinvent the wheel. They build a team of coaches, mentors, and advisors. And there is a difference between the three, and I would encourage people to understand the difference between the three and appreciate the advice that each gives you with such consideration. So I'll just touch briefly with regard to advisors. Advisors are typically people who have very specialized knowledge in a particular field. It may be a real estate broker, it may be a tax accountant, it may be an estate planner. They have very specialized knowledge, but they really don't tend to have knowledge of all the other aspects that affect a financial or business decision. So you want to go to those people when you need that set of specialized knowledge. Then you have mentors. Mentors may have in your industry or in your niche. The problem with relying solely on advice from mentors is a mentor may have gotten there because their father was a multimillionaire and helped them to start this business, or they may have gone to Harvard Business School and you didn't go to Harvard. They may have a stronger network. So a lot of the steps and things that they're telling you to do aren't necessarily repeatable from where you're starting from. Whereas what a coach does is a coach gives you a game plan and helps surround yourself with the team that can help you win. So that's the first part, is just don't reinvent the wheel. Build a team of coaches, mentors, and advisors. The other thing about building that team is that they will help you to remove emotion from a lot of the decisions that you're going to make.
Yes.
Which leads us to number 2, which is expand your vision and your belief system. So many people don't believe that they can build a successful business, and that's one of the biggest barriers. And you often hear everyone can't be an entrepreneur. Well, everyone shows up and they provide a service to their employer. The reason is everyone hasn't been prepared or trained to be an entrepreneur, and our society and educational system prepares you to be an employee. It doesn't prepare you to be an entrepreneur, but more people can be entrepreneurs. We have people in our programs that are 18. We have people that are 80 years old. We even just helped a gentleman who can't even hold a pencil launch a math tutoring company because he has cerebral palsy. But he's been able to go on to get a degree in math and launch several companies. So anyone can be an entrepreneur. The next point, number 3, is you want to increase your income by cultivating your network. So that'll be a dominant theme for me throughout this interview, is you need to build a network. Number 4 is leverage those major wealth-building vehicles, the stock market, real estate, and entrepreneurship. 5 is expand your knowledge and your skills. 6 is invest in those tools that will increase your productivity. And number 7 which is really critical, do the most important thing every day that will change the condition of your life or your business. So many people do the small things just to check something off of the to-do list, but you really need to do the most important thing every day that will change the condition of your life or your business. So number one, don't reinvent the wheel. Build a team of coaches, mentors, and advisors. Number two, expand your vision and belief system. Number three is increase your income by cultivating your network. 4 is leverage the major wealth-building vehicles, the stock market, real estate, and entrepreneurship. 5 is expand your knowledge and skills. 6 is invest in the tools that will increase your productivity. And number 7 is do the most important thing every day that will change the condition of your life or your business.
Wow, those are absolutely very powerful. And you touched on some things in there that definitely gave me, and I hope our listeners, even more insight to some of the catchphrases that sometimes you hear. I've never heard it broken down like that: coaches, mentors, and advisors, and why you need all of them. So this is very, very important. And the last thing you said, do the most important thing first. And that is always, it seems like, a challenge and a dilemma to know and understand in your business what is that most important thing, and make sure you're doing it every day. So we'd love to hear you kind of expand on that one a little bit more, and any of the other ones. But I want to let me tell folks, of course, they're listening to Bean Soup Times Radio. I'm your host, Tori Muhammad, and we are interviewing William R. Patterson. He is the CEO of the Barron Solution Group, co-author of The Barron Son. He has a television show we'll get into a little bit later, but definitely, brothers and sisters, you are listening to the right thing at the right time right now. So please continue, brother. Thank you.
Sure. Well, when it comes to figuring out what is the most important thing every day that will transform the business or transform your life financially, you really want to look at something that's known as the theory of constraints, and ask yourself, what is the biggest constraint in my business or in my life that if I removed it, it would give me more free time, more income, more opportunity, etc. In most instances, the biggest obstacle or constraint in your life is you, as I mentioned before, and it's your emotional or psychological block. So if you're looking at money specifically, we're talking about an individual when it comes to their personal finances, it's important to look at what does money mean to you in terms of, does it mean security? Does it mean freedom? Does it mean dependence or independence for you? You really want to look at what does money mean, and a lot of the financial habits that we adopt come from our a desire to not be like them, or this subconscious or unconscious desire to repeat their financial habits. And when it comes to a business, a lot of times those financial blocks translate into an unwillingness to let go of certain processes, what I call the Superman or Superwoman syndrome, where you think you have to do everything yourself, the unwillingness to seek help from advisors and mentors and coaches, the unwillingness to bring in other people to scale your processes and your business, and then stalling because you think you need more time, you need more money, you need more X in order to do what's necessary to take your business to the next level. So look at the theory of constraint. What is the biggest constraint in your business or in your life that if you removed it, it would transform everything for you? And there's something that's called the 80-20 principle or Pareto's law, which means that there's 20% of the inputs that affect about 80% of the outputs or the outcome. So you don't have to do everything. You just have to do those small things that are going to have the biggest impact. But there's also something that we take a step further called the 450 rule, which says that there's only 4% of the things that you're really going to do that are going to have 50% of the impact. So look for those 4% of things that are going to make the biggest difference.
Wow. So it's actually, I mean, that just changes a person's whole thinking, because people can feel overwhelmed that they have so much to do. And so you're saying focus on the things that really matter, and it could be 4%.
It only has to be about 4% of the business that if you make some subtle improvements, or 4% of some of your actions, that if you make those subtle changes, could transform everything. Now, another great way to identify and focus on the most important thing every day is by getting someone like a coach that works with you.
Right.
And I'll also, this leads to another critical point, which we call accountability. Accountability is the secret key to wealth, as we determine it. And the reason we say that is because, and there was actually a study that came out from the American Society of Training and Development that said the probability of you achieving a goal if you hear an idea is about 5%, 5 to 10%. But if you create a plan for achieving that goal, it jumps to 50%. But if you have someone that holds you accountable and helps you formulate that plan, it jumps to 95%. So you can almost double your probability of achieving a goal if you have someone who helps you formulate that plan and holds you accountable.
Yes, sir.
And most people do not have anyone holding them accountable when it comes to their personal life or their business. But if you look at Fortune 100 CEOs, Fortune 500 CEOs, they have a board of directors that holds them accountable to using the best tools, processes, and strategies. And if they don't, they're fired. They're out of there.
Right.
But the average small business owner or individual, when it comes to their finances, they have no one, which is why they struggle, and they tend not to do the most important thing every day.
Wow, that's critically important. And are there some characteristics you need to find other people in business who have also interest in having someone hold them accountable? Do you find that kind of relationship, or what are some of the characteristics of a person that you would look for?
Well, there's probably a bit of bias, but for the most part, I do think you want to deal with people who have the. It's kind of like also with money too. Mm-hmm. There's what we call silent money, and then there's what we call smart money. So if you're going to give up a percentage of equity in your business, you're going to bring in an investor. It makes sense to partner with someone or to take an investor who can also advise you on the business and can help you build relationships. Well, it's the same thing with your time. If you're going to spend time around people, right? Yeah. if you're going to spend time with people, then you want to make sure that those people can also create some value. They can advise you. They can help you build relationships. Because there's also something that is important to understand when it comes to your network and the people that you spend the majority of your time with. If you look at the people that you spend the majority of your time with and you take the median income, you will find your income. So one of the fastest ways to improve your net worth and your financial condition is to change the people that you spend the majority of your time with. Again, one of the fastest ways to increase your net worth is to change the people that you spend the majority of your time with.
Wow, yes, sir. That's beautiful. That's powerful there. So, and of course, you take some time to do that. You don't want to just walk up to folks and ask them what their income is.
Well, it's typically, if you're really doing it, it's typically not hard to see. Because and don't be afraid to reach out. They're in the magazines.
Yes, sir.
They're doing the deals. So for the most part, it's a public thing. It's not going to be a secret. Success is rarely a secret.
Yes, sir. That's beautiful. So, man, you're just giving us a wealth of information. I'm so pleased to have you on the show. And so tell us, there are people listening who are business owners full-time. There are folks listening who are part-time business owners and working a job. And there are some folks listening who are just happy they have a job. And what advice and strategies would you give to folks to help them create some more reliable streams of income?
Well, one of the first things you want to do is to begin to diversify your income, because most people have only one stream of income, which is that job, or it may be your business. But if something happens to the economy, you lose your job, then you're in a pretty bad situation, and then that leads to that whole kind of death spiral of foreclosure, missing payments, bad credit, all those types of things. And so the first thing you want to do is diversify your income. Look for ways to create multiple streams of income. For most people, a small business opportunity can make a lot of sense, or doing things like developing intellectual property, whether those are books, music, CDs, inventions. If you say, hey, I'm just not that creative, you can always partner with someone who is that creative and help them do some marketing or create some value for their business process that way. But diversifying your income is going to be an important strategy to creating more reliable streams. The other is looking for ways to create residual income where, again, you do something once and you can get paid for it over and over and over again. Again, developing what we call a cash flow portfolio from asset-based income makes a lot of sense. Again, the royalties and revenue from intellectual property, you have direct sales and network marketing programs. For a lot of people, they have a bad reputation, and network marketing programs typically do have about an 80% drop-off or failure rate, but that's mostly because the programs don't teach you how to sell or market. And I would say, or network. So I would say two of the biggest problems with network marketing is there's no networking and there's no marketing. We do training for about 30 or 40 direct sales programs and network marketing programs, but there are ways in which you can build a successful network marketing business. And some of the advantages of that, you have diverse product line, an established brand, low startup cost, the residual income structure, plus if it is built correctly, you can develop that sales and team building infrastructure, and you can potentially have the right product. You also have, as we touched on earlier, online businesses that you can automate. Advantages of those, they're low cost. You can create digital products that you can sell infinitely, and also grant others the right to sell through affiliate programs. And then there's some more advanced strategies, things like rental real estate, and if done right, you can get tax deductions plus the price appreciation. And then there's some business income streams, insurance-based income streams, and some financial income streams to things like options on stock, which are more advanced strategies.
Wow. And you just highlighted things that really take all excuses out, because it doesn't matter where a person is financially, there's something that they could do that could diversify their income.
Oh, you're absolutely right. We say that there are two things that, for everyone, there are two things that you can turn into a viable business. Number one is your passion. So if you're passionate about something and you've ever done something successfully in your life, you can turn that into a system and sell it. Now, there are some people who are listening to this and just say, I'm not passionate about anything, which I find hard to believe. But for those people who are not passionate about anything, they're actually in luck too, because you can also turn your problems into an opportunity and into a successful business. And I've typically found that people who aren't passionate about anything have a lot of problems. So,
okay,
you can take those problems, and typically if you have a problem, there are at least thousands, if not millions of other people or businesses that also have that problem. And the beautiful thing is that you do not have to solve the problem yourself. You can connect the people who have the answers with the people who need the solution. And we kind of call it the Oprah Winfrey model, where Oprah didn't claim to be an expert on a particular topic, but what she did is she brought in other experts to solve the problems of her audience, whether those were financial, whether those were diet, whether that was same way she brought in Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Rachel Ray, all these different experts. You can do the same thing. The same way that you're listening to this interview, people can interview other experts on niche topics and create products that way. And they can create a successful business that way and create a following and cultivate advertisers. So there are a lot of models that you can use starting from wherever you are. There was a young lady who, we helped. She used to be an associate in the Gap. And she said, I know other millionaires, but I'm not sure that I can get them to want to help me. Well, what we did is we helped her to raise her value by creating a radio show, creating a television show. Now she can go to those millionaires and say, hey, I'd like to promote your business to thousands of people. And she's created created more value and raised her value to the people that she wants to get to help her.
Right. Wow. Yes, sir. That's beautiful. Now, let's talk a little bit about your business and what you actually do to help people. You're a wealth coach, and you've been all over major TV shows, news shows. You work with major corporations, celebrities, presidential candidates, and millionaires, billionaires. How do you get folks like that to work and partner with you to really champion your business and the product and services that you have?
Well, it does come
especially
back to
when you first got started.
Right. Well, it comes back to this concept of value, and I think while it is helpful for me, I'll also talk about how the average listener can do this. And a a lot of this comes back to, number one, having a networking plan. A networking plan is as essential to your life and your ability to build wealth as any business or financial plan you will ever create. As I mentioned, one of the fastest ways to change your net worth and your financial circumstances is for you to change the people that you spend the majority of your time with. So you want to begin to build relationships with people. And a lot of times people show up with this I need, I want mentality. And successful people tend to have a lot of people asking them for things, but they don't have as many people providing value and giving them things. So one of the best ways to make a friend is to do something for them, to create some value. And not for this, not with the intent of, I'm going to do this to get something out of it, but I'm going to do this to build a relationship. And so look for ways in which you can create an income opportunity for people, for ways in which you can support their favorite cause or charity, ways in which you connect them with other influential people in your network, ways in which you can create a PR opportunity. There are a lot of ways that you can create value if you think creatively. But you want to create this networking plan where you identify, it could be anywhere from 3 to 10 people that you want to meet this year. And people who are specific individuals or people who are in positions that can help you move your life or move your business forward. And then take an inventory of your skills and your assets, which again can be things like your network, that you can use to help this person achieve a specific goal. The people that you want to meet, again, are not hard to find because they're probably in magazines, newspapers, they're on the radio, they're all over the internet, and if they're not, they're probably not the people you need to meet. All right, so at least that are going to be most helpful for you in moving things forward. So creating that networking plan was one of the things that we did. And then consistent follow-up. You can get to anyone, literally, from billionaires to president, with consistent follow-up and what I call polite persistence, and also creating value. So when you do contact people, contact them with a benefit. Contact them with something that's going to help them achieve something that they're trying to do. And over time, once you create a value for them, they're going to start to think about you when opportunities come up that can be helpful for you. And that's how you can get people to help you and do some amazing things.
Wow, that's an excellent tip right there. That is, that's worth its weight in gold. Beautiful. Brothers and sisters, you're listening to Bean Soup Radio. I'm your host, Torrey Muhammad, and we are talking to William R. Patterson, an entrepreneur extraordinaire. So, brother, tell us about some of the things or ways that people can really take advantage of some of your services and what you offer to be able to help people to get to that goal they're trying to reach of financial independence or building their business. How can people?
Well, they can visit us online at baronseries.com, and I'll spell that for people. It's BARON series SERIES.com, baronseries.com. They can also call toll-free 888-90-BARON. That's 888-90-BARON. And we offer over 150 products and services to help people grow their businesses and begin to build wealth. We work with people who are 18 to 80 years old. We work with people who are doing everything from T-shirt businesses in Florida to manufacturing plants in China. No matter what you want to do, no matter what stage of business development or where you are in your life financially, we can help you from the free information that we have on the website. We have probably over 1,000 hours of audio and video training material for people. And just by even signing up for our mailing list, you get over $500 in free audio gifts. If you want to write a book, if you want, no matter what you want to do, if you want to write a book to create a retail business, we can help you. And we have over 1,000 resources and 250 accelerators that we use to help people grow their businesses and build wealth. And with those, typically we're able to help businesses boost their revenues by anywhere from 20 to several 100% in a year. We have a lot of great resources and accelerators that can help people do the things they want to do faster, and will typically save them, several $1,000s in their, at least in their startup process and growth process.
Wow, That's incredible. That's absolutely a wealth of information that I look forward to going and looking through and getting as much information as I can. And you have some free things that you're offering, and of course I know there are things that you charge for, but talk a little bit about the cost when you don't have a mentor or coach, and how people can really miss out on some great opportunities to build their business.
Well, I think it comes back to that accountability piece that we talked about, and the idea that if you hear an idea, your chances of achieving success or achieving that goal is only about 5 to 10%. So you really do not, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't have someone that can hold you accountable. The other part is you have someone with a roadmap for you to achieve your goals. So it's kind of like you're on a basketball court and you're facing the dream team and you're alone. And you have no coach, you have no team, and you have no game plan. And for most people, they don't even know the rules of the game. And somebody's expecting you to win. You're going to be slaughtered.
Right.
So what a coach does is the coach is going to show up, going to give you the game plan, going to hold you accountable to showing up to practice, is going to surround you with an all-star team that can help you win the game and give you everything that you need to be successful. Mm-hmm. And that's what we try to do. So for a person, if they needed to get to, let's say, from New York to California, and they have no idea where to start, and some of them don't even know they're in New York. They don't even know where they are. Well, what we do is we say, okay, here's your GPS, here's the keys to the rental car, here's your plane ticket. Once you get to the airport, you get on the flight. Once you get off, there'll be someone holding up a sign that says, hey, Tori, we're ready to take you to your destination. So it's a real step-by-step process from going from A to Z to achieve your goal. And what we do is we set up some 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, and 1-year goals for a person, either financially or for their business, and we give them a roadmap, a strategy, and can even do the implementation to get them there. So if they need help developing marketing campaigns, if they need help developing promotional videos, even television shows and radio shows, we can do that for a client. Wow.
So they just need to show up, be coachable, and be ready to play.
Exactly.
Wow.
And obviously, the more time you have and the bigger, budget you have, the more you can do and the faster you can go. But, we do have programs for people at various budgets. And actually, Tori, if you don't mind, why don't we go ahead and touch on some ways that people can find anywhere from $500 to $6,000 in their family budget to either save, invest, or start a business. Because people always want to know about the money.
Absolutely.
So what do you say about that?
I mean, that's a great idea. And you said in the family budget, $500 to $6,000. Right. Yes, I need to hear this.
This is without doing anything extra. This is just money you already have, probably throwing away.
Okay. Yes,
okay.
sir.
All right, so the first part is consolidating your debt. It's very difficult to build wealth or even successfully run a business if you're paying anywhere from 18 to 30% interest on credit cards. Mm-hmm. So one of the first things we would suggest that you do is consolidate your debt. Look at consolidating that to lower interest rate credit cards or lower interest rate loans. And if you go to the free resources section of baronseries.com, again, the website is Baron Series, BARON, Series, SERIES.com. There's a free resources section. You can find some different resources there about debt. You can find out the fastest way to pay down your debt, and you can also find help if you are a person who, let's say you're paying over 20% of your take-home pay is going toward debt. You're probably a candidate for credit counseling, and they can negotiate with those creditors to lower your interest rates and lower your payments typically. Mm-hmm. And in some instances, they might even be able to get your interest rates down to zero. Now, it can have a negative impact on your report, at least from the standpoint of saying that you're in credit counseling, but it's not as bad as missing a payment, going into bankruptcy, or any of that other kind of stuff.
Okay.
All right. The next one is to do comparison shopping and buy products in bulk. This can easily save you over $1,000 a year. So if you are going to any of the wholesale clubs, if you're buying online, these are different. Even some of the coupon sites, mm-hmm. Where you can get some of the best deals in your city for 50% off. This can be a great way to save up to $1,000 a year. Again, you want to do this primarily on stuff that you're already buying, not use this as an excuse to buy more than you need. The next is to consolidate services. So if you're, like I say, a phone, cable, internet, these are with different providers, look at consolidating those services. This can save you over $500 a year. Also, if you have phone service, you could even consider things like a Magic Jack or going to Skype. Again, this can save you up to $500 a year, consolidating those services. The next thing you want to do is move your money from a regular, let's say, checking account or savings account to a high interest-bearing account. High-yield checking and money market accounts can earn you an additional $100 to $200 a year. And again, you can go to the free resources section of BaronSeries.com, and you'll find many of the highest checking and savings accounts in the country, highest interest-paying checking and savings and money market accounts in the country. Also, re-examine your insurance coverage. Usually at least once or twice a year. This can save you up to $250 to several $1,000s a year, depending on your coverage in the area you're in. Also, look at starting a side or home-based business. Not only can this be very profitable for you, but it can also save you several $1,000s a year through tax deductions. And if you're working a job, you can also get with your tax preparer or your accountant to adjust your withholdings based on the deductions that you're going to get, and this can immediately increase your paycheck because you'll again be adjusting your withholdings on your regular job. Also, looking at collaboration tools and doing better planning. So many of us, because of last-minute travel, the miscellaneous fees, the bounce check fees, over-the-limit fees, these are hundreds of dollars that many people are throwing away just because they're not doing great planning. So using these different strategies, consolidating your debt, doing comparison shopping and buying in bulk, consolidating services with the same provider, moving your money to high interest-bearing accounts, money market and checking accounts, and then re-examining your insurance coverage, starting a smaller home-based business, using collaboration tools and doing better planning. This can save you anywhere from $500 to $6,000 a year that you can use to save, invest, or starting a business. So even if they come to us and they say, Tori, I'm living William, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I can't do anything. Going against this list, we can consistently find them anywhere from $500 to $6,000 that they can put into a business or put toward their saving.
Yes. Man, that's absolutely phenomenal. And, I love the way, you're making it very simplistic, very real, doable stuff that people can do. But most of us haven't thought about or even considered what we throw away and the things that we don't really plan for. So, man, this is absolutely incredible. So, if tell us a little bit more about some people who have used your entrepreneurship training program successfully to do what they need to do in business.
Well, there are a couple of recent success stories that we're particularly proud of. One of them, as you mentioned earlier, is PCOS Challenge. And PCOS Challenge was started by Sasha Adi. She is the executive director of PCOS Challenge, Inc., which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization to help women with a health condition called Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. Most people have never heard of Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome or PCOS, but it affects over 7 million women in the U.S. and 1 in 10 women worldwide. And it's the leading cause of infertility in women. Women with PCOS constitute the largest group of women at risk for cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes. Women with PCOS, some studies have shown that suicide attempts are up to 7 times more common in women with PCOS. So there are a lot of health conditions. And what it is, it's a metabolic and reproductive disorder that affects women. So a lot of people needed information about this, and she was diagnosed with this condition, and she came to us and she said, I want to start a nonprofit organization to help women with this condition. So we helped her form her nonprofit organization, pull in funding through grants, corporate sponsorship, and donations. We helped her start 4 income-generating websites. We helped her to start her own cable television show, which we executive produced. It went on to win a National Cable Television Award, and she grew that company in under 2 years to over 10,000 members. And she is the second largest organization worldwide for women with this health condition, and just a tremendous success story about what's possible. And one of the things I asked her, and also, as I mentioned, depression and anxiety are 2 major symptoms of this. And she said, I'm really a private person. I never thought that I would be doing a television show. I never thought I would be doing a radio show, and shooting this, reality series and all of this. And I asked her, so why do you do it? And she says, because I understand that what I'm doing is greater than me, or greater than, and when you understand that what you're not laying bricks, you're building a cathedral. You're building this greater thing that's going to create benefit and value for other people. So I always encourage people, ask yourself, is this the greatest benefit that I can deliver to the world? Is pushing paper, working this particular job, and I'm not knocking people that are, working a job that they love and are passionate about and are getting a skill, but ask yourself, is what you're doing the greatest value and benefit that you can deliver to the world? If it's not, move toward that. The wealth, the income, everything else that you're seeking will follow if you focus on creating that value and benefit. Another gentleman who's a great success story, as I mentioned, his name is Chris Powell. He just launched his new online tutoring service, Math Tutoring Experts. For everybody that says, hey, I'm not sure that I can do it, this gentleman, as I mentioned, he has cerebral palsy. He can't hold a pencil, but he was able to go on to get math. All his life, he's had people telling him that he couldn't do something, but we helped him successfully launch his tutoring company, and he's now partnered with different universities to offer this tutoring program as a part of their normal day-to-day activities for students. We also have a young lady, her name is Merlita Martin. She created this greeting card series called the Black Legend Series. She does painting. She does landscape painting. And we created a greeting card series based on her painting with quotes from different notable entrepreneurs. We helped her to partner with different millionaires, successful entrepreneurs, business owners, celebrities to provide their quotes as a part of this greeting card series. And she donates a portion of the proceeds to help support art programs in inner city schools. But she was featured on Forbes, Reuters, a lot of big CNBC.com, a lot of big websites. She also had a full page write-up in her local paper. And this is, again, another example of using your gifts not only to create an income opportunity, but more importantly to create value, benefit, and to give back. That's what the Barron Solution is all about. And we always encourage our clients to have a humanitarian or social entrepreneurship cause aligned with their business, because that's what's needed today.
Wow, that whole social entrepreneur thing. Man, this is fabulous, brothers and sisters. Soup Radio. This brother you've heard him on, or you may have caught a glimpse of him on BBC. He's been on Fox Business. He's been on CNBC, USA Today, New York Times, Black Enterprise, Entrepreneur, Forbes. All these great publications and outlets have featured him, and now you are hearing him live on Bean Soup Radio. So we appreciate, brother, you giving us some pearls of wisdom. We appreciate the
well, Tori, can I just say one thing though about that?
Absolutely.
I want your listeners to know that they hear it here first. And you, before all of those people, you were one of the first supporters of the Barron Son and the Barron Solution. So I mean, I want you to know that. I want to thank you for that, and I want your listeners to know that they're getting the cutting edge information from you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
I want people to know, again, before we were anywhere, we were in the Bean Soup time. So I want people to understand that.
That's right. That's beautiful. We absolutely appreciate that. And I always challenge our listeners to call me up, email me if I ever bring to them somebody who is not just incredible and just a wonderful example. And there's so much you said, and there were so many principles you hinted on, just giving us a piece of that wisdom from your father teaching you to you giving back and all the stuff that you're doing. So, man, we're just so excited. And we're going to encourage everyone, go to William's website and get information. Go to thebaronseries.com and just be motivated and inspired to move to another level. And so, is there any else closing words you want to have to the folks before we tune out?
Well, I would just end by saying no matter where you are, you can change the condition of your life. The big thing is don't try to reinvent the wheel. There are solutions. There are people that can help. You never know until you try. You never know until you reach out. But look at creating value. Look at creating passive and residual income streams. And look at building your network. If you focus on those things, creating some passive and residual income streams, building your network, and getting that coach, that mentor, and that advisory staff and team around you, those are the things that are going to transform your life. I guarantee you that if you do those things, you will not be in the same place. You'll be in a much better place, probably 10 times better the next year.
Wow, beautiful, brother. Thank you so much. And, we didn't even touch on the book, The Barren Son, but this is a phenomenal book that you all do an excellent job. You and the co-authors of not only giving powerful, usable, doable principles, but telling the story in a way that really, it caused you to really remember it and internalize it because of the way you all tell it. So, man, great job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, and I like Prince Farad. That's my man.
Of course. No, I had to drop that jewel for the people.
Yes, beautiful. All right, brother. We thank you. We thank you for the kind words you shared about Bean Soup Times, and we look forward to just keeping up with you and learning and growing.
Terrific. Thank you, Tori. Look forward to being back.
All right. Peace.
All right. Did I tell you we had a phenomenal brother? Listen, go to beansouptimes.com and you can see a banner ad on the right-hand side. The brother motivated me and inspired me so much that I want to make sure that anybody who comes to my website will be able to connect with him. So make sure you go to beansouptimes.com and get more information about William R. Patterson and the Barren series, and get his book, The Barren Son. I tell you, it is an absolutely just great read. So, brothers and sisters, as we close out, I want to thank you, as always, for tuning in to the Bean Soup Show. I am your host, Tori Muhammad, and never forget that as long as I have a bowl of bean soup, you've got half. Peace.
CNN Radio, I'm Michelle Wright.